everyone, and welcome and thanks to Diego Besone, business profile as IBM C Principal Software Sales Manager. Diego Besone, he is working for more than 30 years of experience in mainframe environments in data center for multinational companies. He's belonging with IBM, and also he's an alumni of our university. Welcome to Universidad de Belgrano, Diego.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about gender, diversity, and IBM. And we already prepared 3 questions. The first question is about how IBM handle diversity, gender, and also inclusion to promote equity in the organization.
Okay. So, first of all, thank you for having me here. In IBM, we take diversity very seriously. There's a program that's been put in place some time ago, but in fact, diversity and inclusion goes way back. Almost 60 years before there was any disability legislation in the US, IBM hired the first disabled person in a company. That was a first for IBM. And this kind of set the tone. This comes from Thomas Watson, who founded IBM, to make IBM a really diverse company. Now, of course, there's always room for improvement, so we have a lot of programs in place right now to focus on specific diverse groups. We actually have 8 diverse groups identified: women, Native American, veterans, Pan-Asian, so LGBTQT+. All of these different diverse groups have their own strategies, managers, budget to make sure that all of these people are recognized.
Oh, that's right. That's right. If we're talking about the strategy and different programs, how we are going to evolve, talking about gender and female inclusion exactly?
Well, there are many things that have to happen in order to make sure that everybody is included, right? So, for example, one of the things is to identify those people that need to be included. So there are specific programs to identify women that have the capabilities and the capacity to, for example, become executives and have better positions in the company. And there are specific programs with coaches, with mentors to make sure that those people can really make it. Otherwise, you know, it's typically for minorities twice as hard to get anywhere, right? So that's why IBM has these programs and these groups that help the identified minorities to make sure that they get where they need to be.
Twice or sometimes it's more.
Well, sometimes even more, I know.
Yes. Here in Argentina, we talk a lot about Ley Micaela. So if we come here to our country, how you can explain to our audience what are you doing, talking about more about tactics, if you have tools, yes, just to promote gender and female inclusion in IBM here in Argentina?
Well, to start with, we make sure we have parameters, we have numbers that we track closely and continuously to make sure that we have the right representation of all the minority groups. We also have very clear rules, and this is something that IBM is very proud of, because one of the key things for IBM is to build trust with our customers, but also our employees and anybody we do business with. So in order to have trust, you need to have accountability. And if you have accountability, it means that you have the numbers and you have the systems to track what's going on. All of that is in place, and IBM makes sure that's one of the first things that we always look into. And by the way, every year, every IBM employee needs to be certified in something called Business Conduct Guidelines, BCGs, where we review every single year how to identify any situation that would be like discriminating somebody, bullying, or maybe not doing the right thing or the ethical thing in general. Right? And we have a process, we have people we can go to, you know, if we flag any of these situations, and there's a process in place. So IBM really makes sure that, you know, all of that works, so again, we can build trust in everything we do, because that's the #1 thing for IBM. If you have trust, everything then fits into the right place.
Talking about another issue that is the global initiative, Agenda 2030. There are one specific goal that is the equity, the Sustainable Development Goal #5. IBM are working with other associations just to promote a new culture in this kind of topics?
Yes, so for example, within IBM, I'm part of the Hispanic Diversity and Inclusion Group. And we're working very closely with We Are All Human, which is an organization
Yes.
that promotes, or you know them. Okay, so we participate in events with them. Recently there was one in New York. We work together, we do conferences together, and we have plans in place, working together to, again, identify and promote Hispanics in IBM. And right now, in fact, this year, there's a big focus on Hispanics. This is based on the great work that was done last year with the Black community, and before that with the women community, and now we're moving forward with the Hispanic community. And of course, that includes Black and women, right? Because you have all of them mixed. So all of that is in scope, and yes, we work with many different organizations.
Okay, so I'm going to track you again to Argentina. And what about the young generations here in Argentina?
The nice thing is that IBM kind of also changed how they were hiring people or how we're selecting people. First of all, we look for diversity. And one of those big changes is that, you know, in the US you have what is called the white collar, the blue collar, and now the new collar. So IBM is very focused now on hiring new collar. That means people that maybe did not have the means to have a formal education or to go to a private university. And IBM is giving these people the opportunity to join the company. We train them and we help them have a career. And we're doing this across the whole world. So in places even like Argentina, where, you know, sometimes you don't really find people from, you know, with the skills required in some universities, IBM is now building those skills, hiring the people and helping them get those skills. And we're doing that across the globe, actually. So.
A last question. If we approach young generations, old generations, or adult generations, do you consider that there are some differences talking about culturally, or maybe we need both just to create a real and good change?
I think we need everybody. There are a lot of differences, certainly. Okay. But, and that's what makes it interesting. But it's important to, first of all, acknowledge those differences, and then based on that, you can actually build whatever you need. It's important to recognize that we're different, but you need the diversity, you need the experience, and you need the young talent. You need all of that.
We need the energy and we need the legacy, and
Absolutely.
that is the issue.
Yeah.
So Diego Besono, thank you very much. Thank you very much to all the people that are listening us. So we are going to wait for you in the next program of Universidad de Belgrano. Thank you.